Okay, let's play 20 questions, but don't worry, I won't make this about me. This game's all about Spanish residency and citizenship. So I've been getting a ton of questions in my inbox and comments, like a lot. So I've put together a two-part series to answer as many as I can. Yes, you heard that right. This is part 1 and part 2 is coming next week. So hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss anything. Oh, and there's a link in the description below with a full list of the questions I'm answering this video. So no need to play pause and scribble. Let's get started. Before we start, there will be acronyms that I will use repeatedly. For reference, here's what they mean. First is the NLV, which stands for non-lucrative visa. Then there's DNV, which stands for digital nomad visa. Then there's NIE, or the Número de Identidad Extranjero, and the TIE, or the Tarjeta de Identidad Extranjero. First question, or the most asked question, what was the reason for the rejection of my NLV application? So the main reason for my visa rejection as per the resolution document was the funds in my bank account. I had enough based on the requirements, but my mistake was I had a lump sum transferred to my bank account from an international bank account within the same year that I applied for the visa. So which I think the consulate saw, but I cannot confirm it. So it's always best to have the funds that you will use for your visa application to be in your bank account for a year minimum. The longer the better. Next, what are the top 3 reasons for NLV and DNV rejection? There's the insufficient financial means, like bank statements showing inconsistent balances, unclear sources of income like irregular deposits or transfer of lump sum amount to meet the requirement. Then there's incomplete or incorrect documentation, like having documents not translated in Spanish, validities beyond 6 months, or there are obvious discrepancies between the provided information and the supporting documents. And then there's the health insurance issues, where the coverage is insufficient, or you used a travel insurance, or you got an insurance from a company not accredited in Spain. Question number 3, why did I not bother appealing my NLV application? So appealing my NLV application would take time, approximately a year, and I would need to hire a lawyer for that. So it would be an expensive appeal without the guarantee of a positive resolution. Also, in that moment, I really wanted to leave sooner than later, so I looked for other ways and chose to apply for Croatia's digital nomad visa. Now, 6 weeks after getting my NLV rejection letter, I got approved for Croatia's DNV. Question number 4, how much money or income is required for the NLV and DNV? For NLV, the requirement is 30,000 euros per year. If you're going to renew your visa, you will need 60,000 euros because renewal is for 2 years, which means you will need to show that you can support yourself without needing to work for another 2 years. In essence, you will need to have around 100,000 euros to cover 3 years of living in Spain. If you have passive income like real estate rentals or pension, you can include this in your application. For DNV, the minimum monthly income you need to show is 3,500 euros, and this is according to my lawyer. The income requirement when you search online is lower. It's typically around 2,700 euros. But showing a higher income increases your chances of getting approved, especially if you're applying in cities that have a high cost of living like Madrid or Barcelona. Question number 5, am I eligible to apply for citizenship after 2 years under student visa? Unfortunately, no. Time spent in Spain on a student visa does not count towards the residency requirements for Spanish citizenship. However, you can transition from a student visa to another residency status like a work visa sponsored by an employer or through Pareja de Hecho. And the time spent with the new residency status might then count towards the residency requirement. Once you've completed 2 years of legal residency, and if you're from the Philippines, Andorra, Portugal, Equatorial Guinea, or Ibero-American countries, you'd be eligible for citizenship by residency after only 2 years. Number 6, am I eligible to apply for citizenship after 2 years under NLV and DNV? Yes, Time spent under these two long-term residency visas make you eligible for Spanish citizenship after just 2 years. This applies for nationals of Ibero-American countries, Andorra, the Philippines, Equatorial Guinea, and Portugal. Question number 7, where do I get the NIE? So if you're applying outside Spain, you can contact the Spanish consulate in your country for this, and they will provide the link and instructions on how to proceed. If you're applying within Spain, like for DNV or Pareja de Hecho, your NIE is already included in your resolution document. Question number 8, can I work under the NLV in Spain? So first, let's define what is non-lucrative visa. So it's a visa allowing an individual to reside in Spain without carrying out any gainful work or professional activity, provided that the applicant has sufficient and guaranteed means to live on. This visa does not constitute a work permit. However, income from passive sources are allowed, such as dividends from investments, pension payments, income from real estate rentals, and other similar passive income sources. Question number 9, if applying for a DNV, can my income come from multiple sources? Yes, your income can come from multiple sources and not just one. The income must be proven to be regular and sufficient and can include various streams like remote work contracts, investment dividends, rental income, or pensions. Question number 10, can I go to Spain on a tourist visa and look for a work there? No, you cannot enter Spain on a tourist visa and then seek employment. A tourist visa, like the Schengen visa, is specifically designed for tourism, family visits, or short-term stays for personal purposes. It does not permit you to work in Spain. If you want to work in Spain, you need a work and residence visa, which you must apply for before entering the country from your country of origin. Question 11, can I switch from tourist visa to a residence permit while in Spain? Yes, you can do so through Pareja de Hecho or civil union or DNV. Question number 12, can I switch from DNV to local work? Yes, but the process is complicated. You will need a lawyer to help you through the process. If your employer is generous, maybe they can take care of it for you. Question number 13, how will they know if I'm still working for a non-Spanish company while in Spain on DNV? Do they verify with my employer? So the Spanish immigration authorities primarily rely on self-reporting and documentation provided by the applicant to determine compliance with the digital nomad visa requirements. While they don't typically directly verify with employers, they will require evidence that the applicant is working for a non-Spanish company and is not engaging in other forms of employment or professional activity in Spain. It's also important to note that only 20% of your remote work income can come from Spanish companies or clients. Question number 14, what if I lose my remote job while living in Spain under DNV? What do I do? So if you lose your remote job while in Spain on a DNV, your primary concern is maintaining your visa eligibility by securing another remote job or freelance clients within a short time frame, approximately 30 days. If you manage to get another job, then you will need to inform the UGE or the Unidad de Grandes Empresas of this as soon as possible. Otherwise, your visa could be revoked or you risk getting rejected when renewal time comes. Question number 15, what are the tax obligations as a resident on a NLV or DNV? So if you reside in Spain for more than 183 days, you automatically become a tax resident, which means you're obligated to pay taxes on your worldwide income. This includes any income generated inside and outside of Spain, such as salaries, rental income, pensions, or capital gains. Spain employs a progressive tax system for personal income with rates ranging from 19% to 47% depending on income levels. It is crucial to maintain detailed records of your income to accurately complete your Spanish tax return. Another option is the Beckham law, but there are a few exceptions to this, so better consult with a tax advisor for clarity. Question number 16, do I have to declare income tax? Yes, of course. And it should be done annually, and the deadline is normally at the end of June. If you're an employee of a local company in Spain, your RPF or Impuesto sobre la Renta de las Personas Físicas is automatically deducted from your payslip or nomina, but you still have to declare annually. Question number 17. Is it necessary to register as autonomo when I move to Spain under DNV? As per my lawyer, yes, if you are working as a self-employed individual or freelancer, you will need to register as an autonomo and pay Spanish Social Security contributions. Once you're an autonomo, you are eligible to enjoy the 15% tax rate for the first 2 years. Then it can be progressive again from 19% to 47% depending on your income. Question number 18. Should I register as an autonomo or set up a sociedad limitada? So the decision of whether to register as an autonomo or set up a sociedad limitada or SL in Spain depends on your specific circumstances and goals. If you are starting small, working solo, and not planning rapid expansion, the autonomous structure is generally simpler and more suitable. However, if you plan to scale your business, attract investments, or hire employees, the SL structure might be more advantageous. If you plan to live in Spain indefinitely, setting up an SL is a better option, mainly because of tax obligations. So in general, a Spanish limited company or Sociedad Limitada or SL tends to have a lower tax rate at higher income levels. So while autonomous pay personal income tax or RPF on their business profits, which can range from 19 to 47% depending on their earnings, Sociedad Limitadas pay a fixed rate corporate tax of 25% with a reduced rate of 15% for the first year for new companies. Question number 19. What should I do once my visa application is approved? So you've got to do apartment hunting. Once you have that, then you register your home address. We call this empadronamiento. Once you have your padron, then it's time to get your TIE or Tarjeta de Identidad de Extranjero. This is primarily your residence card or ID. Once you have your TIE, you can now open a Spanish bank account. You can also get a digital certificate. It's a crucial tool in Spain, particularly for interacting with public administrations and other entities online. You can also register as an autonomo depending on your situation and visa type. Once you're registered as an autonomo, you can get your social security number. You can also request for TSI or Tarjeta Sanitaria Individual. It's a health card that will give you access to public health care, and you qualify once you start contributing to Seguridad Social. And this is optional, but you can also exchange your driver's license. And question number 20, if I'm still in the planning stage of moving to Spain, what would be the best approach? So this is my advice. Learn Spanish as early as now. If you have funds at least 3 times the financial requirement, apply for NLV. If you're a remote worker or freelancer and your income meets the requirement, apply for DNV. If you don't have funds or remote job, upskill and start finding remote jobs that would meet the income requirements. On the other hand, I wouldn't recommend a student visa unless you really want to study, because there is no guarantee that you will find a job and an employer that will sponsor your work visa once you've graduated. And living here in Spain under a work visa is stressful because you are tied to your employment, meaning if you lose your job, your residency is also at risk. And that's a wrap on part 1 of our Spanish residency and citizenship Q&A. If your question didn't make it into this video, don't panic. It might just be in part 2, dropping next week. Don't forget, there's a link in the description with all the questions I've answered so far. It's super easy to read through. And if you found this helpful, give it a like, maybe share it with someone who's dreaming of siestas and sangria. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss part 2. Trust me, we're just getting into the juicy stuff. Got more questions? Drop them in the comments or email them to me. I might just add a few extras in. Hasta luego!